Formula One is all about speed, skill, and serious money. Not talking about the drivers or the teams, but the machines themselves, the cars, are worth more than most mansions, private jets, even entire companies. And today, we're counting down the 10 most expensive F1 cars ever made. The ones that broke records, won hearts, and burned through wallets like tires on race day. From how Lewis Hamilton's first winning car cost more than an island, to a silver bullet that sold for over $50 million. These aren't just cars, they're treasures. And trust me, the last one, it'll blow your mind. So buckle up. Here come the priciest beasts Formula One ever built. 10 Ferrari 126C2, 1982, $2.14 million. In 1982, Ferrari rolled out a machine that looked like a red rocket on wheels, the Ferrari 126C2. This car wasn't just fast, it was innovative. It featured turbocharged power and an aggressive new design that made it stand out from the pack. Piloted by racing legends like Mario Andretti and Gilles Villeneuve, it brought Ferrari into a new era of performance, but it also came with heartbreak. The 1982 season was one of the most chaotic and emotional in F1 history, marked by tragic crashes and fierce team rivalries. While the 126C2 showed serious pace and helped Ferrari win the Constructors' Championship, it's also remembered for the loss of Villeneuve and the injury of teammate Didier Pironi. Today, the car is worth over $2.1 million, not just for its engineering, but for the heavy history it carries. It's a reminder that every F1 car tells a story, and some leave scars. Wait for this next one. It's a machine that shaped Red Bull's future. 9. Red Bull Racing RB13, 2017, $3.8 million. The number 13 is usually unlucky, but Red Bull wasn't buying into superstition when they built the RB13. Driven by Daniel Ricciardo and Max Verstappen, this car was sleek, aggressive, and backed by one of the most dynamic teams on the grid. It didn't win the championship, but it packed serious punch, taking multiple podiums and even a stunning win at the 2017 Azerbaijan Grand Prix. What made the RB13 valuable wasn't just its speed, it was the car's place in Red Bull's evolution. It helped pave the way for their dominance in later seasons and showed flashes of brilliance from Verstappen, who would soon become the face of the sport at auction. The RB13 fetched an eye-watering $3.8 million. Not bad for a car with 13 in the name. But this next one, it wasn't just fast. It changed everything for one team overnight. Honorable mention, Braun GP BGP 001, 2009, $4.2 million. No team in Formula One history pulled off a shock quite like Braun GP did in 2009. So it's not necessarily on this iconic list, but an honorable mention. After Honda pulled out of the sport, Ross Brawn bought the team for just £1. Yes, £1. And with almost no time to prepare, they showed up with the BGP 001. And from the moment it hit the track, it was magic. With Jenson Button behind the wheel, the BGP 001 won 6 of the first 7 races. Its secret? A clever double diffuser that gave it a massive aerodynamic edge while rivals scrambled to catch up. The car dominated the season, delivering both the Drivers' and Constructors' Championships, an achievement even more impressive considering the team almost didn't exist. Years later, when the BGP 001 went to auction, it was more than just a race car. It was a piece of miracle engineering, and someone paid $4.2 million to own it. That was a miracle in white and yellow. But the next car? A winning machine built like a rocket. 8. Williams FW17, 1995, $4.8 million. By the mid-1990s, Williams was a titan of Formula One engineering, and the FW17 was a beast wrapped in blue and white. Driven by Damon Hill and David Coulthard, this car was packed with innovation. Its Renault V10 engine sang at 14,000 RPM, paired with a sleek, aerodynamically refined chassis designed by none other than Adrian Newey. The FW17 wasn't just fast, it was surgically precise. Though it narrowly missed out on both titles to Benetton and Michael Schumacher, the FW17's relentless pace and consistency made it one of the most respected cars of its era. It clocked 5 wins and numerous podiums, showing just how refined Williams' engineering had become. At auction, collectors knew its legacy. $4.8 million secured this piece of racing evolution. A car from a time when Williams ruled the grid. Wait for this next one. It's a Ferrari that helped bring the red team back to life. Ferrari F2002, $6.5 million. In Formula One, expensive translates to speed, and for Ferrari, the F2002 was their diamond in motion. This car wasn't just fast, it was utterly dominant, built for the 2002 season. It was piloted by Michael Schumacher during one of the most one-sided campaigns in F1 history. He won 11 of the 17 races, finished every single Grand Prix on the podium, and clinched his 5th world title with 6 races to spare. Underneath its scarlet bodywork, the F2002 was a masterclass in engineering. Ultra-lightweight chassis, seamless aerodynamics, and one of the most efficient V10 engines ever made. Ferrari even delayed introducing it until race 3 to make sure it was perfect. And when it arrived, it crushed the competition. The car was so good, it kept racing into 2003, scoring more wins at auction. Its price hit $6.5 million, and many say that's a bargain for what's considered one of the greatest F1 machines ever built. Next was a car that defined the word greatness in glam and numbers. 6. Mercedes-AMG Petronas F1W05 Hybrid, 2014, $7.5 million. This wasn't just a car, it was the blueprint for a dynasty. The W05 Hybrid marked the beginning of Mercedes' absolute domination in Formula One's turbo hybrid era, powered by the mighty PU 106A engine and wrapped in aerodynamic genius. This car was nearly untouchable in 2014. Driven by Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg, it won 16 of 19 races that season. The W05 didn't just win, it humiliated the competition. The title fight between the two teammates might have been fierce, but the Constructors' Championship? A one-team show. Its hybrid system was years ahead, with a seamless blend of electric and combustion power that redefined efficiency and performance. The dominance it kicked off continued for nearly a decade, when one of these W05 chassis sold for $7.5 million. It wasn't just the price of a race car, it was the first chapter in one of F1's most dominant eras. But speaking of legends, the next car wasn't just fast, it was Ferrari's most cherished masterpiece. 5. Ferrari 312 T4, $8.26 million. In 1979, Ferrari hadn't seen a driver's championship in 2 years. That might not sound long, but in Maranello, it felt like an eternity. Enter the Ferrari 312 T4, a beast built for revenge. Driven by Jody Scheckter, this was the car that finally toppled the competition and brought home both the drivers' and constructors' titles. But it wasn't just Schechter's title. His teammate, Gilles Villeneuve, made the T4 dance on track like no one else. The car thrived on raw talent, and both men pushed it to its limit. The 312 T4 was a response to the rise of ground effect, the technology that glued cars to the tarmac. Ferrari ditched wings for clever underbody engineering and sculpted a machine that cornered like a magnet. The result? 6 victories and a championship sealed in Monza in front of Ferrari's home crowd. Its legacy as the car that ended Ferrari's drought and the last to win before Schumacher's era decades later shot its value to $8.26 million at auction. And next up was the car the whole world stopped and watched Schumacher dominate in. 4. Ferrari F 2001, $18.17 million. This car didn't just win races, it helped define a dynasty. The Ferrari F2001, driven by Michael Schumacher, was a precision weapon on the track. With its screaming V10 engine and impeccable balance, it carried Schumacher to victory after victory, including a pivotal win at the Monaco Grand Prix. What makes this particular chassis special is its direct role in securing Schumacher's fourth world title and Ferrari's continued reign at the top of Formula One. It combined sleek aerodynamics, blistering speed, and bulletproof reliability. At auction, it became the fourth most expensive F1 car ever sold, fetching an incredible $18.17 million. But this wasn't just about hardware. It was a piece of racing royalty, touched by one of the greatest drivers the sport has ever seen. The F2001 isn't just a car, it's a crown jewel in Ferrari's empire. Okay, but wait until you hear about the car that started Mercedes' modern empire. 3. Mercedes-AMG Petronas F1W0404 2013, $18.815 million. This is where the Lewis Hamilton Mercedes dynasty truly began. The W0404 might look like just another silver arrow, but in 2013, it did something historic. It gave Hamilton his very first Grand Prix win with Mercedes at the Hungarian GP. Nobody knew then that it would be the spark that lit the most dominant era Formula One has ever seen. The car's design bridged the end of the V8 era and the dawn of hybrid domination, and though it didn't win a title, it was the seed of Mercedes' greatness. When this chassis went to auction in 2023, it didn't just break records, it shattered them, becoming the most expensive modern F1 car ever sold, at a jaw-dropping $18.815 million. For collectors and fans alike, this car wasn't just fast, it was prophetic. It marked the birth of a legend. But what if I told you the next car broke the record again and rewrote what F1 history was worth? 2. Mercedes-Benz W196R, 1954, $29.65 million. Before Hamilton, before Schumacher, there was Juan Manuel Fangio. And the car that carried him to glory? The Mercedes-Benz W196R Sleek, silver, and decades ahead of its time, this machine dominated Formula One in the mid-1950s. It wasn't just a race car, it was a revolution. It exceeded all expectations with pure dominance, finishing with a 1-2 win in debut and a whole lap ahead of the rest. In 2013, one of these original W196R chassis went under the hammer and sold for $29.65 million. At the time, it was the most expensive Formula One car ever sold, and for good reason. This wasn't just a car. It was the embodiment of racing royalty, touched by legends, etched into motorsport's DNA. And yet, it wasn't even the most expensive car on this list. Mercedes weren't done. The next year they made the same car, but this time with perfection. 1. Mercedes-Benz W196R Streamliner, 1955, $53.01 million. This is it, the crown jewel of Formula One history. The Mercedes-Benz W196R Streamliner sold for a jaw-dropping 51.155 million euros, around $53.01 million, in 2013, making it the most expensive F1 car ever sold. Why the insane price? This wasn't just any car. It was aerodynamic perfection wrapped in 1950s elegance, a bullet-shaped machine that looked like it came from the future, driven by Juan Manuel Fangio and Sterling Moss. It carved through the competition, continuing its dominance from where it stopped the year before. Only a handful of these Streamliners were ever made, and this one had it all: proven race pedigree, legendary drivers, and immaculate preservation. Even among priceless F1 artifacts, the W196R Streamliner was a constructor's model of perfection and might never be replicated again in this lifetime. Told you the last one would blow your mind. When speed meets fortune. Formula One is all about pushing the limits of engineering, of bravery, and clearly of wallets. From million-dollar prototypes to priceless machines touched by legends, these 15 cars prove that F1 isn't just a sport. It's a high-speed museum of history, craftsmanship, and power. Whether it's a streamliner from the 1950s or the hybrid beasts of today, each car tells a story of victory, evolution, and obsession. Some were driven by world champions, others never saw the checkered flag. But one thing's for sure, every single one of them left a mark so deep someone was willing to spend millions to keep the memory alive. So tell us, which car from this list would you park in your dream garage, assuming you've got tens of millions lying around? Drop your pick in the comments below. And if you're hungry for more mind-blowing F1 stories, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell. Because in Formula One, history isn't just written in speed, it's signed in zeros.